How did one private photo turn into a public moment where a clerk handed me papers at my job, with people watching? Why did my husband stay calm for weeks, then end it with one lawful move that started that same day? My name is Ligeia Merritt. I was 34, and I worked in marketing for a tech company that liked to call itself fast and creative. I liked those words too. They made me feel special, like I was not just a wife who packed lunches and paid bills. I told myself I needed more than a routine. I still think I was right. That morning started like any other. The kitchen light was too bright, and the air smelled like toast. Ethan stood by the counter with his work bag. He looked tired in a plain way, like a man who slept but did not rest. He asked why my phone kept lighting up. I said it was work and group chats. I made my voice flat, like the question was silly. He nodded, but his eyes did not leave my screen. I had been careless. I knew that, but I hated the word. Careless sounded like guilt, and guilt made me feel small. I preferred to call it stress. Stress was modern. Stress meant I was busy and important. My phone buzzed again, and I turned it face down. Ethan asked if I wanted coffee. I said I had no time. I kissed the kids on the head, quick and light. Mila was 8, and already watched faces more than cartoons. Noah was 5 and held my sleeve like it was a rope. Ethan said Noah needed his shoes. I said Ethan could handle it. Then I left the kitchen like I was escaping a trap. In the bathroom, I locked the door, even though no one tried to come in. The mirror showed my eyes too wide, my mouth too tight. I opened my private account, the one I told myself was harmless because it was just for me. It was a small corner where I could feel seen. I had posted a photo the night before. It was not explicit, not anything like that. It was just me in a soft top, hair done, skin looking smooth under a filter. It was meant to be private. It was meant to say, I am still wanted. My stomach dropped when I saw the tag. Colin Reese. His name sat under my photo like a bright stain. I did not remember tapping it. I remembered him showing me how the app worked, how to boost a post, how to make it pop. He had a way of speaking that made everything sound like a secret between adults. I told myself it was mentorship, networking, creative energy. I told myself Ethan would never understand because Ethan lived in rules. I tapped fast, trying to remove the tag. My thumb slipped. The screen froze for a second. Then I saw a small line that made my throat close. Viewed by Ethan. It was like someone turned the air off. I stared at it, waiting for it to change, as if the app might undo the truth for me. It did not. I felt anger first, not fear. Anger was easier. Anger meant I was wronged. I washed my hands, even though they were not dirty, just shaky. I practiced my face. I practiced calm. When I opened the bathroom door, Ethan was in the hallway. He asked who Colin was. He did not raise his voice. That made me more upset because it was harder to fight calm. I said Colin was a photographer who sometimes worked with my office. I said he did some event shots for our company. Ethan asked why Colin was tagged in my private photo. I said it was an accident. Then I shifted fast because that answer was weak. I asked why Ethan was checking my phone activity. I said it felt invasive. I said he was acting jealous. Ethan said he saw a notification on the lock screen. He said he did not search for anything. He asked again why Colin was on my photo. I told him he was making it weird. That was my favorite move. If I could make Ethan feel dirty for asking, then I did not have to answer. Ethan's face went still. He looked at my hand, at the way I held the phone too tight. He asked if there was something I wanted to tell him. I said there was nothing to tell. I said he was turning a small mistake into a story. I said he always needed a villain, and he was choosing me now. He did not argue. He walked into the bedroom and opened his closet. He moved slowly, like he was deciding where each thing belonged. I watched him take a shirt off the hanger and fold it into a small square. He did not slam drawers. He did not throw anything. I hated that too. If he was loud, I could call him unstable. If he was quiet, I had to sit with myself. I went to the living room and pretended to check emails. My mind ran in circles. I thought about Colin's laugh, the way he looked at me like I was a headline. I thought about Ethan's eyes, tired and plain. I told myself I did not betray Ethan. I told myself Ethan stopped trying years ago. I told myself I was only taking back a part of me that got lost in homework and laundry. I told myself respect follows results, and I had results. At lunch, I went to the gym lobby. The place smelled like lemon cleaner and sweat. Cassidy was there, stretching in bright leggings, already ready for attention. She asked why I looked tense. I said Ethan was acting jealous again. I said he watched my phone and made me feel trapped. Cassidy rolled her eyes and said Ethan always wanted control. She said a woman should not have to ask permission to feel pretty. I nodded like she was wise. I let her words cover me like a blanket. I checked my phone again, hoping time had erased the problem. It had not. I saw that the tag was gone now, but the damage stayed. A tag can be deleted, but the moment cannot. I considered messaging Colin, but I did not want him to panic. If he panicked, it would make it real. If it stayed casual, then it was casual. When I got home, the kids were in the kitchen with Ethan. They were eating cut fruit. Ethan washed a mug and set it on the counter. Then he washed a second mug and set it far away, like the space between them mattered. The gesture was small, but it felt like a line. Mila asked if Dad was mad. I said Dad was stressed. Noah asked if we were going to Grandma's. I said we would see. I kept my voice sweet because sweetness hides sharp things. After the kids went to bed, Ethan asked if we could talk. I said I was tired. He asked if I understood why he was upset. I said he was upset because he liked to invent problems. I said he should focus on being more romantic if he wanted me to feel close. I said it was not my job to manage his insecurity. Ethan did not answer right away. He looked at me for a long time, like he was reading something on my face that I could not see. Then he said he would sleep in the guest room. I said he was being dramatic. I said he was punishing me over nothing. He walked away anyway. I sat alone on the couch with my phone in my hand, scrolling like the screen could give me a new ending. I opened the app again, just to check. The photo was still there, but the tag was gone. That should have made me feel safe. Instead, I kept seeing the line in my head. Viewed by Ethan. The next day, I went to work like nothing happened. I wore a fitted blazer and my nicest shoes. I told myself that looking strong was the same as being right. On the train, I reread my own thoughts like they were rules. I said Ethan saw one small mistake and tried to make me pay for it. In the open plan office, the air was dry from the heaters. Screens glowed, keyboards clicked, and everyone acted busy while still watching each other. Jenna from accounts asked if I was okay. She said I looked tired. I said Ethan kept me up with his moods. I did not say the tag. I did not say Colin. I kept it vague because vague stories spread faster. Later, near the coffee machine, my manager walked by and asked if my home life was stable. I said yes, but I said Ethan had been sensitive lately. I used that word on purpose. Sensitive made him sound unreasonable, like a child. My manager nodded like she understood, and I felt a small win in my chest. I checked my phone more than I should. Colin had sent a simple message. He asked if everything was fine. I said it was fine and Ethan was being dramatic. I added a smiley face, like that could erase the risk. Colin replied that we should talk in person, just to be safe. At lunch, I walked to a coffee shop near the office. It had soft music and too many plants. Colin was already there, wearing a clean jacket and a calm face. He asked what Ethan saw. I said Ethan saw a notification and turned it into a fight. I said Ethan always looked for reasons to doubt me. Colin asked if Ethan was angry. I said Ethan did not know how to be normal about things. Colin said we should pause for a week. He said it would look better. I did not like that. I did not like anyone telling me to slow down. I said pausing would make Ethan think he won. I said if Ethan wanted to act like my father, I would not reward him. Colin asked if I was safe at home. I said yes, but I said Ethan's silence felt like pressure. I made it sound like I was being punished. Colin reached across the table and touched my wrist for a second. It was not sexual. It was just a claim. I liked it. I told myself it was harmless because it was brief. Colin asked if I wanted him to block Ethan on social media. I said Ethan was not the type to message him. I said Ethan was all talk. I said Ethan was too proud to do anything real. When I returned to the office, my friend Cassidy sent me a link to a rooftop bar event for that night. She said I needed to get out and breathe. She said men like Ethan only behaved when women stopped catering to them. I told Cassidy I might come. I knew I would. Ethan did not call all afternoon. Usually he would text about dinner or the kids' schedules. That day there was nothing. The silence felt loud. I tried to tell myself it was proof he wanted control, but the idea did not fit. Control usually looked like more messages, not less. After work, I waited in the parking garage, leaning against a concrete pillar. I watched people walk to cars with tired faces. My phone buzzed. Ethan asked what time I would be home. He wrote it like a simple question, not an accusation. That annoyed me more than anger would have. I said I was still working. I added that my boss needed revisions on a campaign deck. It was a clean lie. It sounded grown up. Ethan replied that he would feed the kids. He said Mila had homework. He did not say anything else. Colin's car rolled in a few minutes later. He parked 2 rows away like we were strangers. He walked toward me and asked if Ethan believed my story. I said Ethan always pretended to believe me, then acted cold later. I said his behavior was emotional abuse in slow motion. Colin frowned like he cared. That made me feel safe enough to smile. We did not go far. We just drove to the bar district and walked. The rooftop bar was loud, bright, full of photos waiting to happen. Cassidy was there with 2 other friends. They hugged me like I had survived something. Cassidy asked where Ethan was. I said he was at home being moody. Cassidy laughed and said I should post a story captioned "Freedom." A guy at the table asked if Ethan was controlling. I said Ethan got jealous over nothing. I said he wanted to track my phone. I said he tried to make my life small. I did not say Ethan only asked a question. I made the story bigger because big stories get support. Cassidy told everyone about a time Ethan left a party early. She said he could not handle fun. I added that Ethan always judged people. I said he looked down on my friends. I said he acted like he was better than everyone. It was not true in that way, but it sounded true when I said it fast. Someone asked if I was happy in my marriage. I said happiness was complicated. I said women outgrow men who stop trying. I said I should not have to beg for romance. People nodded. One woman said I deserved to be celebrated. I soaked it up like medicine. I took a picture of our drinks. I did not post it. I learned that lesson. Still, I watched my phone like it was a weapon that could fire by itself. On the train home, the city lights blurred past the window. I told myself I was not cheating. I told myself I was responding to years of neglect. I still think I was right in that moment because I felt alive. I said Ethan chose routine over me, so he lost his claim. At home, the living room was dim. The kids were asleep. Ethan sat at the table with a notebook open, but I could not see what was on the page. When I walked in, he closed it and set it aside. He asked if I had a good night. I said yes. Then I said he sounded sarcastic, even though he did not. I wanted him to be guilty. Ethan asked if we could talk without blaming. I said he started it by spying. Ethan said he did not spy. He said the tag came to him. I said he could have ignored it. Ethan asked why Colin was tagged at all. I said it was an app mistake. Ethan asked if I talked to Colin often. I said Colin was work. I said Ethan should focus on his own issues instead of my contacts. Ethan looked at his phone for a moment. The screen lit up, and I saw a calendar reminder. It said, downtown 10:40 a.m. He turned the phone face down right away. I acted like I did not see it, but my mind grabbed it and held it tight. I asked where he was going tomorrow. Ethan said he had errands. I asked what kind of errands. Ethan said personal ones. The way he said personal was calm, like a closed door. I tried a different angle. I said he was scaring me with silence. I said I did not feel emotionally safe. Ethan asked what I wanted. I said I wanted him to trust me and stop questioning everything. Ethan said trust needed truth. I laughed and said he was being dramatic again. He stood up and said he would sleep in the guest room. I asked if he was trying to punish me. Ethan said he was trying to stay steady for the kids. He said he did not want shouting. I said I never shouted. He did not respond to that. When he walked away, I sat at the table and stared at the place where his phone had been. Downtown 10:40 a.m. repeated in my head like a warning I could not decode. I told myself it was probably nothing. I told myself he was just going to buy tools or pay a bill. But I did not believe myself. I picked up my own phone and opened my messages to Colin, hovering over the keyboard, trying to decide what story to tell next. Saturday came with a forced calm. I woke up early and lay still, listening. The house felt different now. Ethan moved like a guest in his own home. I told myself I was not the cause. I said a husband should not act wounded over a tag. I said strong men did not crumble over an app. In the kitchen, Ethan made pancakes for the kids. He did it the same way he always did, careful and quiet. Mila watched him like she was reading a book with no pictures. Noah asked if we could go to the big table place, the family restaurant. Ethan said yes, because it was already planned with his parents. I pretended to be excited. I told myself I could use the lunch to prove my point. If I looked normal and he looked tense, everyone would see who the problem was. In the car, Ethan drove like usual. He did not speed. He did not slam the brakes. He did not play loud music. That annoyed me. I wanted him to show anger so I could label it. I asked if he was going to be weird in front of his parents. He asked what I meant. I said he knew what I meant, and I said I would not be embarrassed again. Ethan said he did not plan to embarrass anyone. He said he only wanted the kids to enjoy lunch. I heard the word kids and felt it like a shield he held in front of himself. I told myself he was using them against me. I said he was making everything about them, so he did not have to face me. At the restaurant, the long table was already set. Ethan's parents were there. His mother, Darla, stood up when we arrived. She hugged the kids first, then gave me a stiff hug like it was a duty. His father, Graham, shook my hand like we were coworkers. Darla asked how I was doing. I said I was fine, but I said Ethan had been cold and distant. I said it in a bright voice, like a report. I wanted the words to land before anyone asked Ethan anything. Darla's face changed, but she did not raise her voice. She asked what happened. I said it was silly, and I said Ethan was making a big deal out of nothing. Ethan sat down and helped Noah with his napkin. Darla watched him do that. Then she looked at me again and asked if I understood why Ethan was upset. I said Ethan was upset because he was insecure. I said he was threatened by my work life. I said he did not like that other people noticed me. Graham asked Ethan if he was okay. Ethan said he was okay and would keep it calm. He used the same calm tone I hated. I saw Darla relax a little when he said it, and I felt a quick sting. I wanted her to look at him and see a villain. Instead, she looked at him like a son she needed to protect. The waiter came, and the kids got crayons. Mila drew a house with 2 doors. She did not look up when she did it. I told myself it was just a drawing. Darla asked me, again, what the nothing was. I said it was an online mistake. I said a vendor got tagged by accident in a photo. Darla asked why a vendor was on my private account. I said everyone had private accounts. I said Darla would not understand because she was older. I made it sound like she was behind the times. Graham asked if the vendor was the same man who did our company event photos last month. I felt my throat tighten. I said yes, but I said that did not matter. I said the tag was like tagging a bakery in a cake photo. I said it meant nothing. I watched Ethan's face for a reaction. He did not give me one. He just cut Noah's food into small pieces. Darla asked if I had apologized. I said I did not need to apologize for an accident. I said Ethan should apologize for treating me like a suspect. Darla's mouth tightened. She asked Ethan if he wanted to say anything. Ethan said he did not want to fight at the table. He said he wanted the kids to have a normal meal. Graham nodded slowly, like he respected that. I pushed harder, because I could feel the room not choosing me. I said Ethan had been sleeping in the guest room like a punishment. I said he ignored me. I said he acted like I was dirty. Darla asked if Ethan called me names. I said no, but I said silence was worse than words. I said silence could be emotional cruelty. Ethan looked at his plate, then looked at Mila, then looked away. He did not argue with my terms. That made me feel powerful for a second. I took that feeling and fed it. After lunch, we went to the playground by the river. It was cold, but the kids ran anyway. Darla sat on a bench with a coffee. Ethan stood near the slide, watching Noah climb. I sat beside Darla and tried to act warm. I said I hated tension. I said I wanted peace. I said Ethan made peace impossible because he always needed control. Darla asked if I was still seeing the vendor. My heart jumped, and I turned it into anger. I asked why she would accuse me. I said she was being unfair. Darla said she was not accusing, she was asking. I said she was acting like Ethan, and I said it was not a good look. Mila came over and asked why Dad was in the other room at night. I said Dad needed space because he got overwhelmed. I said adults sometimes needed to cool down. Mila asked if it was because of my phone. I told her she did not need to worry about phones. I said she should play. She walked away, but she did not run this time. She just walked. On the way home, we stopped at the supermarket. Ethan pushed the cart. I walked beside him and watched the total climb on the screen. At checkout, Ethan asked why the bank account showed extra cash withdrawals. He said it in a low voice, not for the cashier to hear. I acted offended. I said he was tracking me. I said he was obsessed. Ethan said he noticed because the numbers did not match our budget. I said he was controlling money to control me. I said he wanted me trapped. Ethan did not argue. He just paid and took the bags. His calm felt like a wall. Back at home, I saw him open a drawer and place a folder inside. The label said Utilities. Another folder said Household. He closed the drawer gently. I heard a soft click like a lock, but I was not sure. I told myself he was being dramatic with paperwork, like he was trying to scare me. Still, my stomach tightened. That night, Noah repeated a phrase while brushing his teeth. He said Dad said he was writing things down. Ethan looked at Noah and told him to spit the toothpaste, then rinse. He said it like it was nothing. I froze for half a second, then laughed like it was a joke. I told myself Ethan could write all he wanted. I told myself writing was not action. I told myself I had already won the social story, and that was what mattered. But when the lights went out, I lay awake and listened to the quiet house, and I pictured Ethan's calm face at the long table. Monday felt like a restart that was not real. I put on makeup like armor and made the kids' lunches like a performance. I told myself I was the normal one. I said Ethan was the one creating problems. I said a marriage should not fall apart because of one mistake on a phone. Ethan did not come into the kitchen while I packed food. I heard him in the hallway, moving softly. When he finally appeared, he looked clean and ready, like he had slept fine. That made me angry. I wanted him to look ruined. I wanted proof that he needed me. He asked what time I planned to pick up the kids after work. I said I would do it like usual. He said he needed a clear time. I said he was being strict for no reason. Ethan said he was not being strict. He said he wanted us to stop guessing. He said the kids needed steady routines. I heard kids again and felt the same irritation. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He said he was trying to keep them out of adult problems. I rolled my eyes, like the word adult did not apply to me. In the school pickup line that afternoon, the air was cold and full of exhaust. Parents smiled at each other like strangers who shared a secret. Ethan was there too, which was unusual for a weekday. He stood a little away from me, not rude, just separate. Mila ran to him first. Noah followed her. Ethan asked the teacher a question about next week's schedule. His voice was calm and polite. I watched other parents watch him. That bothered me. I wanted them to see him as the bad guy. When the kids got in the car, Ethan asked if I could stick to the times we agreed on. He said it like a simple request. I said I never miss times. He said last week I came late twice. I said that was because he stressed me out. Ethan did not react. He just nodded like he was collecting information. At work the next day, I started spreading my story wider. I did it like I was protecting myself. I told Jenna and 2 other coworkers that Ethan was already talking like custody. I said he was trying to limit my time with the kids. I said it was scary. Jenna asked if there was a plan in writing. I said I did not need paperwork to feel threatened. I said women always got asked for proof while men got believed. Jenna did not argue, but she looked away. She said she hoped things stayed calm for the kids. Her tone was careful, like she did not want to step into my mess. That made me mad too. I wanted people to pick a side. I wanted a crowd behind me. At lunch, I texted my sister Sloane. I said Ethan was acting cold and controlling. Sloane replied that I should own my truth and post something about boundaries. I liked the sound of that. Boundaries made everything feel justified. I considered writing a post about emotional safety and privacy. I imagined the likes and comments, the way my friends would call me brave. That afternoon, Colin messaged me and asked if Ethan was still quiet. I said yes. I said Ethan was acting like a stranger in his own house. Colin asked if I wanted to meet. I said yes, but I said it had to be quick. I wanted reassurance. I wanted to feel chosen again. We met in the parking garage after work. Colin leaned against his car and asked if Ethan had threatened me. I said Ethan did not need to threaten. I said silence was his weapon. I said he wanted me to doubt myself. Colin frowned and said Ethan sounded intense. I liked hearing that. It supported my story. Colin asked if we should stop for a while. He said it might get messy. I said stopping would make me feel like I lost. I said Ethan wanted me to beg for forgiveness, and I would not. Colin asked if Ethan could do something legal. I laughed and said Ethan was too proud to go tell on me. I said legal steps were for people who could not handle emotions. Colin did not laugh. He just nodded slowly, like he was thinking. When I got home, the kids were in the living room. Ethan was at the table with a laptop open. The screen showed rows and boxes like a spreadsheet. I could not read the title. I only saw columns and neat lines. That made my skin prickle. Ethan's style was never messy. If he built something, it worked. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I asked what he was organizing. He said household things. His voice was polite, almost distant. I tried to pull him back into a fight. I said he was acting like a robot. I said he was trying to scare me with numbers. Ethan said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to keep life stable. That night, after the kids fell asleep, I heard a printer run. The sound was soft at first, then steady. It came from the small office room near the stairs. I walked halfway down the hall and paused. I smelled a faint toner smell, like warm plastic. Ethan opened the door a crack and asked what I needed. I said I needed him to stop with the dramatic paperwork. He said it was not dramatic. He said it was responsible. I asked if he was planning something. He asked what I meant. I said he was acting like he was building a case. Ethan did not deny it, but he did not confirm it either. He said he would not argue. He said arguing did not help the kids. I pushed again. I said he was trying to punish me. I said he was trying to make me look bad. Ethan said he did not need to make me look like anything. He said choices spoke for themselves. That line hit me harder than shouting would have. It felt like he was stepping away from my control. Later, I saw him go to the guest room and close the door. I heard a lock click. I stood in the hallway, staring at the door like it was a stranger's. I told myself he was being cruel. I told myself he was trying to isolate me, but a small part of me wondered if he was not isolating me, but protecting himself. The next morning, I walked past his laptop on the table. The screen was dark, but for a second it lit up from a notification. I saw a small message near the corner. File uploaded successfully. It vanished fast like it never happened. I stood there with my hand on the back of a chair, breathing shallow, telling myself it meant nothing. I told myself people uploaded work files all the time. Still, my mind kept building pictures I did not want to see. Folders, dates, lists, lines that turn my words into evidence. I opened my phone and started typing a message to Cassidy, asking what I should post. Then I stopped. For the first time, I wondered if noise would save me or finish me. I decided the best defense was to go loud. If I filled the space with my version, Ethan's quiet could not grow into something dangerous. That was what I told myself. I said people believed the first story they heard. I said I needed to protect my image, because an image was the same as safety. On Thursday evening, Cassidy invited me back to the rooftop bar. She said the first night was proof I still had a life. She said I should not shrink because a man felt threatened. I liked the word shrink. It made Ethan sound like a bully, even though he had not touched me or yelled. I told myself a bully could be silent too. At home, I got ready in the bedroom while Ethan stayed in the hallway with the kids. I heard him reading a story to Noah. His voice was steady and soft. That made me feel guilty for half a second, so I turned it into anger. I said he was performing. I said he wanted to look like a saint. When I walked into the kitchen, Ethan was packing Mila's snack for school. He asked where I was going. I said I was meeting friends. He asked what time I would be home. I said he did not need a schedule for me. He said it was not for him, it was for the kids. I said he was using the kids to control me again. Ethan did not argue. He just nodded once and wrote something on a small notepad on the counter. I could not read it. I saw only neat lines. I asked what he was writing. He said he was tracking routines, so there would be fewer fights. I said there were no fights except the ones he started. He looked at me for a long moment and then looked away. In the car, I checked my phone twice before I even left the driveway. I saw a bank alert pop up that morning, but I had not opened it. Now I opened it at a red light. It said, "New account access enabled." My stomach tightened. I told myself it was probably a fraud alert or a banking update. Still, it felt like the floor moving under me. At the bar, Cassidy and 2 friends waved me over. They already had drinks and phones out. Cassidy asked if Ethan was still being weird. I said yes. I said he refused to talk unless I admitted to things I did not do. I said he was trying to shame me into obedience. Cassidy said that sounded toxic. I nodded like I agreed, even though the word toxic fit me better. A woman at the table asked what Ethan did for work. I said he inspected buildings for the city and acted like that made him important. I said he loved rules more than people. Someone laughed. I laughed too. I wanted Ethan to be small in their minds. Cassidy suggested I post a story about boundaries and privacy. She said I should call out phone checking. I said Ethan was basically stalking me. I said he tracked my bank account. I said he was trying to isolate me from friends. The words came out smooth, like I had practiced them. I checked my phone again and saw a missed call with no caller ID. I stared at it for a second. I told myself it was spam. I did not mention it. I did not want anyone to think Ethan might be serious about anything. I wanted them to think he was only emotional. Later, Cassidy leaned in and asked if I was still seeing the photographer. She said it like a joke, with a grin. My face got hot, but I smiled anyway. I said it was none of her business, and I said, Ethan imagined things. Cassidy laughed and said men always sensed competition. The group reacted like it was funny, and I let it be funny. I let my own marriage be a comedy because comedy gets applause. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen. The lights were low. The kids were asleep. The sink was empty. He had cleaned like he always did. He asked if I had fun. I said yes and asked why he cared. He said he cared because we lived in the same house and had the same kids. I said he sounded like a lawyer. He said he was not trying to sound like anything. I noticed 2 mugs on the counter again, spaced apart. I looked at the guest room door. It was closed. I imagined him behind it with a notebook, writing me into a story that did not end well. I decided to push. I asked if he planned to punish me forever. He asked what I meant by punish. I said the coldness was punishment. I said sleeping away from me was punishment. I said the calm tone was punishment because it made me feel like a stranger. Ethan said he was not punishing me. He said he was setting boundaries so he did not say something he would regret. I said that was a threat. He said it was not a threat, it was responsibility. I said responsibility was just control with a nicer name. He did not raise his voice. That made me feel like I was shouting into a pillow. I tried another move. I said I felt unsafe with him acting this way. Ethan asked what unsafe meant. I said unsafe meant I could not predict him. Ethan said he had not yelled, he had not broken things, and he had not stopped me from leaving the house. He said he only asked for truth. I said truth was subjective. He looked at me like he did not recognize me. The next day was Saturday, and I told myself a family outing would fix the optics. I suggested we take the kids to the playground by the river again. Ethan agreed without emotion. That scared me more than refusal. At the playground, the air was cold and bright. Mila climbed the ladder slowly. Noah ran toward the swings. Ethan stood near them, watching. I stood a little away and opened my phone, pretending to take pictures. Really, I watched Ethan's face in the reflection on the screen. Mila came over and asked why we did not eat together much now. I said Dad was stressed and needed space. She asked if it was because of my phone. I told her not to worry about adult things. Ethan heard her question and looked at me. He asked Mila if she wanted hot chocolate after. She nodded and went back to the slide. I walked closer to Ethan and spoke in a low voice. I asked if he was telling people bad things about me. He said he was not. I asked if he was collecting evidence. He did not answer that directly. He said he was keeping notes so he would not get confused later. I said that was creepy. He said it was clear. I noticed a new key on his keyring when he took his phone out. It had a plain tag with no label. I asked what it was for. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said household storage. I said why did we need storage? He said it was better to be prepared. On the drive home, I felt a tight panic behind my ribs. I wanted to make him react. If he reacted, I could call him unstable and win again. I said he was tearing our family apart over a stupid tag. He asked if it was only a tag. I said yes. He asked why Colin's name was there. I said it was an accident. He asked why I met Colin outside work hours. I said he was guessing. Ethan said he was not guessing anymore. At home, I followed him into the kitchen. I told him he was making me look bad in front of his parents. He asked if I cared about looking bad or about being honest. I said those were the same thing. He looked tired then, not angry, just tired. He opened a drawer, and I heard a shredder hum for a few seconds, like he turned it on and off. I watched him without blinking. I asked what he was shredding. He said junk mail. I did not believe him. but I had no proof. I tried one last time to flip the script. I said I would tell everyone he was controlling and cruel. I said people would side with me. Ethan nodded once, like he accepted that possibility. Then he spoke in the calm voice that made my skin prickle. He said he was done fighting in circles, and he said he would handle it properly. By Monday, I was living in 2 stories at once. In my story, Ethan was cold and punishing. He had turned one small mistake into a war. He wanted me to beg. He wanted to win. I told myself that was why he stayed calm. I told myself calm was just another way to control. In the real house, he stayed polite. He cooked. He took the kids to school. He answered only what mattered. If I tried to pull him into a fight, he did not bite. He kept his words short. He asked about pickup times. He texted about lunch boxes. He said nothing about love, nothing about us. That silence felt like a door closing. On Tuesday morning, I opened the banking app again. The alert from before was not a glitch. There were changes I did not like. Our joint account still existed, but a new setup was visible. Some deposits were now going to a different account. It was not emptying us. It was not stealing. It was clean and careful, like a person placing items in labeled boxes before a move. I called Ethan right away. He answered on the second ring. I asked what he did to the accounts. He said he set safeguards so bills would be paid and there would be fewer fights. I said he had no right to do that without me. He said he did it within the rules and would share details in the proper way. I asked what proper way meant. He said I would see soon. I spent the day shaking between anger and fear. At work, I tried to sound normal. I laughed too loudly at a meeting joke. I sent 3 emails that had typos. Jenna asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was escalating. Jenna asked what that meant. I said he was playing mind games. She did not agree or disagree. She just said she hoped things stayed professional at work. Her tone made me feel exposed. That afternoon, I got a message from my mother. She asked if Ethan's parents were turning him against me. I said yes. I said they always wanted to control him, and now they were using this to make me look bad. My mother replied that I should protect myself. She said I should speak first, before he did. I felt a rush of relief at that idea. Speaking first had always worked for me, so I did what I always did. I started to draft a post. Nothing too specific, just a women's privacy post. I wrote lines about trust and emotional safety. I wrote that silence could be abuse. I wrote that being watched could break a person. I hovered over the button, ready to make the world my witness. Then Ethan texted me a simple message. He would pick up the kids on Wednesday, and he would drop them off Thursday morning. He wrote the times like they were a schedule at a daycare. He added that Mila's school needed an updated contact list. He asked me to confirm. I stared at the text. I did not like how official it sounded. I asked where he got the right to set a schedule. He replied that he was not asking for permission. He was giving notice. I said he could not do that. He replied that he could, and that he was doing it the calm way. That night, I barely slept. I heard him moving once, soft steps like he was careful not to wake the kids. I heard the guest room door open and close. I heard a faint beep, like a phone alarm, then silence again. I imagined him at the table with neat folders and a pen, not angry, just certain. On Wednesday, I went to work early, trying to get ahead of the panic. I told myself it would pass. I told myself he was bluffing. Ethan did not bluff, but I forced myself to forget that. Near noon, I walked into the office tower lobby to grab a coffee before a client call. The lobby was bright and open, with glass walls and people moving fast. I checked my phone. No new messages. I told myself that was good. Then a man in a plain jacket stepped toward me. He asked if I was Ligeia Merritt. I said yes, because it was a normal question in a normal world. He said he had documents for me. He held out a thick envelope. My throat went tight. I looked around, and saw people nearby, security at the desk, a coworker passing with a badge. I asked what it was. He said he could not give legal advice, but he had to confirm delivery. He asked me to sign. I did not want to sign. Not signing felt like refusing the reality. But he waited, calm like a cashier. I signed with a shaking hand. I sat on a lobby bench and opened the envelope enough to see the headings. I saw words like petition, temporary, and effective immediately. I saw a parenting schedule with dates and times. I saw financial restraints written in neutral language. I saw a rule about communication staying focused on the children. My face went hot. My ears rang. I wanted to call someone to tell me this was not real. I called Ethan. He answered, steady as always. I asked what he had done. He said he had filed for divorce and requested temporary orders for stability. He said it was lawful, and it started now. I said he was humiliating me. He said he was not trying to humiliate me, and that the lobby was my choice, not his. I whispered that he was ruining me. He said he was protecting the kids and protecting himself. He said we would follow the schedule starting today. I looked at the page again, at the calm printed words that did not care about my feelings. I realized my story was no longer the loudest one in the room.